And I think that was probably the lesson that took me the longest to learn, is that it's very easy when the media describes innovation as like one eureka idea, one incredible moment. And the reality of being an innovator is you just have to go out there and you have to try a ton of different things to get something to work. And it's really why most organizations can't do it. They can't stomach the idea of 80% of projects they're trying failing, and then they don't want to keep doing the iterations after something fails. And so it takes that level of persistence to go out there. And a lot of people will challenge me on this. They'll be like, well, Michele, like these, there's big companies that have come up with big ideas over this period of time, and it's really the idea that matters. So I'll give you a couple of famous examples of where I think that's the narrative, but that's not actually what really happened. So the first example I will give is Uber. Everyone thought in the last decade that Uber was one of the coolest new inventions that we had, and that they had just invented this idea of ride sharing. But the real story of Uber is actually very different. Uber started in San Francisco, and most people don't know this, but before Uber started, it was truly impossible to get a taxi in San Francisco. There was something like the lowest number of taxis per capita in any major city in the world. And so you'd call one, and usually no one would come. That was the typical user experience. So the first version of the Uber app didn't even have location services. It was literally just an app that auto-dialed a black car company where you would physically and verbally explain where you were located. They had the advantage of launching in San Francisco, the worst city in the world for taxis. They then stole the entire peer-to-peer ride-sharing idea from Lyft and slowly started to iterate to what became the app that defined the sharing economy.